Hey guys, my name is David, and you are watching Stories Told. Today, I am going to explain a drama, horror, mystery movie called Prom Night. Please be aware, the video contains spoilers. High school freshman, Donna Keppel, returns home after watching a movie in the cinema. She enters her house, puts her coat in the wardrobe, but suddenly, she notices strange footsteps. She calls out for her dad, but she fails to notice her dad's lifeless body in front of the TV. She then goes upstairs, and checks inside her parents' bedroom. She falls over a baseball bat and decides to lecture her brother. She starts poking him so hard that her brother decides to turn around, even though he is already dead. She hides under the bed and witnesses her mother's death. The murderer is telling himself that Donna is his property, and nobody can take her from him as he flees the scene. Donna runs outside as she hears a police car passing by. She is unable to draw the attention of the officer and the killer spawns behind her. We switch to a session with Dr. Elisha Crow, who is trying to resolve Donna's problem about the reoccurring nightmares from that night. Donna is worried, as the nightmares were gone for several months, but they came back recently. Dr. Crow reassures her that the nightmares are normal, and they will go away, just like before. Donna, Lisa, and Claire are sitting in a saloon, preparing for prom night. Donna checks her hair in a smaller mirror, since the big mirror on the wall wouldn't be able to spook her with the killer standing outside. A bus passes by and the killer decides to amaze Donna with a trick he learned from Harry Houdini. The stunt was an overwhelming success, as she can't even believe her eyes. After the tragedy, Donna moved in with her Uncle Jack and Aunt Karen. Donna tries on her prom dress and decides to not take pills for her anxiety. She closes the cabinet when Aunt Karen shows off what she learned in Hogwarts. Donna tells her she isn't taking her medications for a week now, as she wants to remember everything from her prom night. The doorbell rings and Bobby, her boyfriend, is there to pick Donna up. Luckily, every teenager attending prom is living in a house with stairs, so every movie can win 1.5 minutes of runtime. They pose for a picture and leave in a limo. People arrive at the prom, where for some reason, adults are cheering for the kids behind a cordon, just like in Hollywood. At the police headquarters, Detective Wynne gets a fax about the killer, named Richard Fenton, that he has escaped from the hospital he was kept in. Detective Wynne tells Nash that Richard was a teacher in the local high school. He was obsessed with Donna and killed her family to be able to be with her. The police caught him in his own house and found hundreds of documents, photos and letters about Donna. He escaped 3 days ago, from the heavily guarded psychiatric hospital. By simply removing the light panel. Richards is also at the prom and gets frustrated seeing Donna kissing Bobby. They meet the local bullies and they get into a battle of words. No clear winner was announced, so Ronnie leaves to get the key for their room. They dance and have fun inside, while Ronnie takes the keys. Richard overhears the conversation, as he is also booking a room for himself. The girls leave to go to the bathroom, and the closest one is in their room on the 3rd floor. They get into the elevator, where a few nicely dressed men compliment their look and invite them to a party. Richard is also in the elevator, hiding in the back. The girls get out, but Richard follows them. He watches them enter room 312. He then damages his card and calls the maid to help him get inside. The maid opens his door with a master key and he asks for another towel. When the maid enters the bathroom, he stabs her multiple times and takes the MasterCard. Luckily, he sprayed his clothes with sneaky spray, so the maid's blood can't stick on his clothes. Detective Wynne pays a visit to Uncle Jack and informs him about Richard's escape. Claire pulls away Donna and tells her she is arguing with her boyfriend again and her stomach is acting up. Donna heads upstairs to bring medicine for Claire. Richard follows her and about to surprise her when he decides he rather wants to practice for his magic show. A patrol arrives to Donna's house. Jack tells Aunt Karen he isn't going to bring Donna home because Detective Wynne told him there is no reason to assume Richard is going to look for Donna. Donna enters her room and starts looking for someone as she feels like somebody is there. Richard performs his award-winning stunt and appears in the mirror for a second. Donna is about to go back when Claire scares her in the door. They sit down and talk about Claire's boyfriend issues. Donna leaves her in the room and heads downstairs. Claire is in the bathroom fixing her makeup. She puts her bag inside the wardrobe when Richard appears out of nowhere. She wants to congratulate him for the amazing trick, but Richard feels like she isn't appreciating him enough, so he kills her as well. Detective Wynne arrives at the prom and calls the station to send 4 more officers in plainclothes. He tells the receptionist to give the photo of Richard to every worker there. Donna is concerned about her moving to another city to attend university and tells Bobby that she should attend the local uni, so they can meet more often. Bobby tells her to never throw away her dreams because of him. Michael comes and asks them where Claire is. Donna tells him she is upstairs, fixing her makeup. Richard is looking at the photos the girls took previously, when Michael enters the suite. Michael talks to Claire, but when he gets no answer, he decides to sit down on the couch and wait for her. We hear the door open. But by the time he enters, Richard successfully cleaned up and hid Claire's body somewhere else. Michael then opens the wardrobe and Richard surprises him. The DJ takes a break and they start to show pictures and videos of the graduates. Detective Wynn and Nash are still keeping an eye on Donna. The group shares a moment as they realize this might be the last night they spend together. The receptionist calls Maria, the previously murdered maid. He asks one of his coworkers to try to find her as she isn't answering. The man bumps into Richard and asks him if he saw the maid. Richard could simply answer with a no, but instead, he tells him she is inside his room. The man heads inside and Richard kills him. Lisa and Ronnie decide to go upstairs to look for Claire and Michael. They are about to enter the elevator when they bump into Richard. Lisa has a feeling she knows him, but she isn't recognizing her former teacher without the beard. They arrive at the suite, and quickly forget about Michael and Claire as they get to the adult stuff. Wynn gets a call from a man, telling him to go to the parking lot since they found something. DJ Tyler leaves and they announce the prom queen and king. Lisa gets the nomination, so Bobby tries to call her to stop doing the adult stuff and come downstairs. They don't pick up the phone. Detective Wynn finds a body in the car which Richard stole. Richard used the man's identity to check into the hotel. Lisa finally remembers Richard and runs to the elevator to warn Donna. Richard goes after her, while Bobby goes upstairs to look for them. Richard tries to show her his David Copperfield imitation, but Lisa isn't in the mood. She hides under a tarp as Richard is still looking for her. Lisa is about to fall over a bucket, but Richard catches her just in time. Wynn enters Richard's room but finds only the dead bodies there. They are about to announce the queen and king when the fire alarm goes off. They start evacuating the building. A potential fire hazard is nothing serious, so Donna decides to go up to her room for the scarf that used to be her mother's. Nash, Bobby and Ronnie figures out where Donna might be. Richard is so good in magic, that he even managed to teach teleportation to a lamp. He wants to pet Donna while she is looking for her scarf, but quickly changes his mind and practices for his Vegas show instead. He then enters the room which he was already in, and tells Donna he missed her. She manages to lock him out but Richard breaks the door since it was made out of cardboard. She hides under the bed and chills there for a good minute before she notices the dead body 2 inches from her. Nash and the others must have stopped to eat kebab since it took them about 20 minutes to get outside from the main hall. They tell Wynn that Donna might be in their suite so they go look for her. Richard looks under the bed but Donna manages to run away. Nash takes her outside while Wynn and another officer look for Richard. They find Michael, but only because he gave himself up willingly. Donna and Bobby sit in a car and Nash decides to take them home to make it easier for Richard to attack her again. The SWAT team searches the hotel, but they don't know that Richard holds the farthest teleportation illusion Guinness record. Donna and Bobby is watching the news about the events. Wynn is thinking about what to do next when he notices blood dripping from the vents. He thinks it's kind of sus and checks it out. The dead hotel worker decides to spook him one last time and performs a sick trick. Nobody thought that Richard can change clothes, so they let every worker out without checking them. Wynn calls Nash and tells him Richard got out. Nash tells him he is on alert, not even thinking about taking Donna to a place which his location is unknown to Richard. Or to a place where usually a lot of police officers chill, like a police station or something. Donna goes outside to take her anxiety pills. Donna closes the window and heads back to bed. By the time Wynn arrives, he finds Nash dead in his car. Donna tries to talk to Bobby, but Bobby also fell victim of the local ninja magician. She hides in her wardrobe when Wynn calls her. Suddenly, Richard grabs her from behind. Wynn is about to enter the wardrobe when the aunt cries for help so he runs downstairs. Donna bites Richard. He is about to stab her when Wynn steps in and shoots him multiple times. This was Prom Night from 2008. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, because I didn't.